Say what needs to be said. It's your host, your big dog, Asante, Mr. Pick Six Samuel. And we vibing on this good Friday night. Good vibes on this Friday. How y'all doing, chat? Y'all check in, baby. Let's get into this good Friday vibes. We got a lot to uncover and to talk about. You know what I mean? Mr. Pick Six in the building, the art of interception, where you can learn how to be the best DB you can possibly be. You know what I mean? By the teachings and the learning of Mr. Pick Six himself. Y'all join that class, that course, and it's out there for y'all, man. But what's happening on this Friday night? Y'all talk to me in the chat. Y'all join in. Y'all come on in. We about to catch this vibe and catch this good vibe and keep it going. Because training camp is here. Football season is underway. It just depends on what type of caliber of football you're watching and which ones you're into, whether you're in the Pop Warner football, high school football, college, or the pros or whatever. You know what I mean? Football season is here. So we finna get into a little football and get this thing started like it's the preseason. You understand? You know what I mean? Rick the Vegan Barber in the building. Camp life. Boy, I had so many camps. I mean, how many camps I went through? Went through 11 in the NFL. I went to about four training camps in the college and then, high school. So training camp is a part of football and our way of life. It makes us the football player. It brings the dog out of us, the football player we need to be. But it's that time of the year, man. Football. It's that time of the year. You can smell it. It's like when you hit that grass, you smell that grass, the cleats, everything hitting the ground. Your cleats hitting the ground and you smell that football and the ass in the air. Like I said, you got high school, college football, Pop Warner. Pop Warner is full effect right now. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, what's y'all favorite? Do y'all like Pop Warner, college, or NFL? What's your favorite to watch? College football, high school, Pop Warner, or NFL? I think mine, let me see. I think mine right now, it's the pros. I like watching the pros. Pros is my favorite right now. But training camp has started for some NFL teams. A lot of NFL teams, well, just a few. And now these players are restricted to a nonstop morning routine. From night to the morning is vigorous. It's a vigorous routine until camp life is over. Y'all don't understand, right? I can't lie. This is when a lot of negative thoughts start to creep in the minds of us athletes. Being in training camp, we just left our family, our vacation and stuff like that. We start to wonder if we really want to play football. We still are that interested in this game. Is football still getting our juices going? It depends on what year you in. 3 years, it's probably most players in the latter years of their career over 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You understand what I mean? That's why you see at this time of the year, a lot of unexpected players just up and retire. All of a sudden you hear an announcement, one of your favorite players or a guy that you was expecting big things from on your team. And all of a sudden you hear them saying, man, I'm done with playing football. I think, this team, I think this coach and all these things, but I just don't have the same juices that I have, and the same drive that I had to play football anymore. So I'm gonna hang up the cleats, baby. And it's time to move on because training camp is here. And I don't really want to go through this training camp. I've been through this so many times and it's really painful, right? So you got Kenyon Drake just announced today his retirement about to enter training camp. You understand? So that's what I'm talking about. You'll start to see unexpected announcements of people just all of a sudden retire because, man, this training camp is something. It's sort of like entering a jail. I don't want to make it sound that harsh, but you're away from your family, you're on lockdown, you're under somebody else's rules and regulations. If you violate your rules, you have consequences to deal with. And you have to wake up 5:30, 6 o'clock every morning, and you on a routine. And that routine is strict. But for me, let me tell you, I don't understand how these players are dealing with training camp in today's time because, that sun ain't the same sun we used to dealing with. I don't know how these teams are bearing this heat or dealing with or managing this heat and dealing with it. From especially the down south teams. You got the Dolphins, you got Jaguars, you got Tampa, you got the Texans, you got all these down south teams. I know this heat has to be so brutal. It has to be like almost unbearable with the pads on and the hitting and running, being dehydrated, and all those things. But, I wonder what are the different steps teams are taking to make sure players are safe in this crazy heat, because I've seen some crazy times, some crazy things happen with that heat and players having to, I get IVs, mix the water with the alcohol just to survive this heat, because it's real, But it's funny because I see on Twitter, if y'all don't see on Twitter, man, we always going at. We have some good debates and we talk about production. Mostly they talk about the New York Jets fan base always going at it with me about Darrell Revis and Sauce Gardner. You know what I mean? It's all about production for me. I don't want nobody to take it hard and stuff like that. And I'm not taking shots at nobody. I'm just having fun and stating my claim of how I think production is the main thing, and that's how you become a great player, by production, not because people rate you high and say you're good. No, you need production. So y'all join me on Twitter, Mr. Pick 6, 22, and join in the debates and all that good stuff. But hey, Bronny James, baby. And we seen the hype, and we hear the hype, and there's a lot of high expectations for Bronny James just because of his name and stuff like that, but it shouldn't be like that. But Jaylen Brown, the Celtics basketball player, he goes viral after speaking his truth about Bronny James. Then he turns around and basically apologized. Say what needs to be said, Jaylen. Jaylen Brown, you got to stand on business out here. That was an innocent and honest conversation he was engaged in while watching Bronny James play. And, he said exactly what he feels, and he wants to take it back now because the higher ups probably came down on him. But hey, man, if you said it, you believe it, you maybe could reword it a better way, but you believe it. Stand on that. Everybody see it. Everybody believe. I understand that's your colleague and stuff like that. But, my question is, I do feel like with enough time, Bronny will develop into a better pro basketball player, right? He needs a little time. Give him a little time and he will develop into a better pro basketball player. But what position and what role he will play still isn't clear to you, boy. I can't really see what position he could play because he's very small. So, and it's hard for him to be a 2-guard at 6'1", and him running the point, that'd be very scary. But what I see from the young man, I still see a timid, shy kid on the court, kind of scared to make mistakes. You know what I mean? And that's a part of the process. Once you get comfortable, you start to flourish, right? And as he get more confident and comfortable, you will see the true game of Bronny James, in my opinion. I don't think we're seeing the true athlete / basketball player in Bronny James yet. Last night, if you paid attention, his first pass attempt, it turned into a turnover, right? And it was like, I know everybody was kind of looking at it like, oh, here we go again. But that's kind of normal when you're understanding and you're getting your feet wet and veteranizing the game, becoming a vet in this new pro football, new pro basketball. You just coming from college. So that's a different experience as the NBA. I know because I played basketball, and sometimes I came down the court when I didn't have much experience. I would just kind of throw the ball right to the opposing team, thinking my man was right there, but it was too close. I couldn't time it. My judgment was off, right? So that was normal. But for Bronny, right, after the turnover, he started to get comfortable, right? And he started building his confidence. And then you starting to see him, pick it up and start to do better things. Now, I can't give him too much credit because, he's a work in progress, and that's what he is. He is a future prospect. He is a long-term project and not an instant success. Everybody is looking for him to be an instant success, and we all know that, Bronny James is not big James. He's the little James. So he may take a little while. He don't have the physical attributes and athletic ability that the father has, right? He's not the guy to come change the franchise. That's not what expected him. He was forced drafted to the Lakers by way of, his father and stuff like that. We know that. We ain't here to talk about that. But for me, like, I seen a lot of NBA players, we got the Kobe's, you got Jaylen Brown. I seen a lot of NBA players come in their first year, right? They come in their first year and they look horrible. They look like they're not physically ready. They can't mentally catch up to the speed of the game. And then they start to get better and better and flourish and become all-stars. Kobe Bryant, you know what I mean? Kobe Bryant didn't start off good his first year. But the only difference is, these guys stood 6 foot taller, 6'5" taller or better. And Bronny James, he's only 6'1". So, that's a big difference right there. That's a big difference. Bronny is gonna always have that problem. He's gonna always have that problem in that size disadvantage because he's 6'1". Basketball players need to be tall, long, and explosive at the end of the day. But for me though, at the end of the day, I wish Bronny would have stayed and enjoyed college as a young man. I don't think anybody is debating that. The college experience and environment is something that is basically irreplaceable. When you're coming out of high school and trying to, enter into adulthood, you're trying to find yourself. It's not as harsh as just stepping out there as an adult. You just stepping out there as an adult, shit is real, right? Now, last night, Bronny made some steps in the right direction, right? He started doing some good things. But at 6'1", you need a special trait to achieve success in the NBA. Maybe passing, you know what I mean? Passing the ball and help creating buckets for other players, right? Or you could be a great creator, get to the bucket at will. Or you shooting 70% from the field. Either or, you need to have some special trait as an NBA player standing 6'1". The one and only thing that makes LeBron James so successful is his size, right? Now, along with his size is his athletic ability. Now, with his size and athletic ability combined, this makes him pretty much impossible to stop. His speed, his size, his strength, and yeah, he doesn't have any. He's not the best ball handler. He's not the best shooter. He doesn't shoot 70% from the 3-point line or from the field, but he can get to the hole at will, and he can get to the hole and create for the whole team. And the son has those traits, and it's in his genes, but he's just not that size. But we wishing Bronny and the James family nothing but success. And like I say, he had a cool game, but we're gonna see how this pan out. We like I said, he is a prospect. You got to understand, Bronny James is a prospect, and he is not to be considered an asset right now on the team. But they're gonna force him out there. I want to see how this is gonna play out. Y'all think he's gonna play in October when the season starts? Is he gonna be a part of that rotating 7 that that's in and out? I don't know, man. That'd be a crazy one. Hey, but Stephon Gilmore, man, what's going on with our brother Stephon Gilmore? Stephon Gilmore, man. Stephon Gilmore, 33-year-old former defensive player of the year, still hasn't officially signed a contract this year. He has officially hit the age discrimination in the NFL. Now, what is the age discrimination in the NFL, Zont? We're going to get into that. There's definitely something, age discrimination in the NFL, if y'all don't understand. Because ain't no way bro should not have a contract to start off training camp this season. He is still playing at a high level. But when you cross that threshold barrier from the league's business plan, and it doesn't matter how good you can still play, you 30 years old. 30-year-old athletes aren't looked at the same. And maybe it's a numbers thing with athletes being drafted. You got 7 rounds where the athletes getting drafted every year. So that's a part of the business. So, you get caught up in numbers. No matter how good you are, the age may play the number one factor, because we got a rotation of young men coming in with a lot of potential. So you just if you play long enough, and when till you're old enough, you will end up being a casualty of war, unless the team just ride with you and love you and want you a part of their team and franchise for the rest of your retirement career, right? But if the team that does sign Stephon, because he will get signed eventually, barring some crazy things happen and stuff like that. But a team that suffers an unfortunate injury at his position, and they would definitely be the first ones to call. But they have to be a team that's competing, that'll be there in January trying to compete for a Super Bowl or something like that. You know what I mean? Whether you realize it or not, these draft picks get more opportunities than you think. Yeah, man. You think the vets, they ain't trying to keep the older vets around. They want to draft these new young studs, these next Asante Samuel, the next Champ Bailey, the next Deion Sanders. There's always hope when you have the older guys, like I said, that hit that age discrimination at the age of 30. They don't look at us the same. It's time for us to go. Pack your bags. We're trying to replace you. Any chance they get, they're trying to replace you. Obviously, we make more money, and that doesn't sit too well. That doesn't help us out. But Stephon Gilmore, come on, man. He still has a ton of production left in him, especially with the right team. And you can't tell me it's 20 cornerbacks out there that's better than Stephon Gilmore right now. You can't tell me it's 20 cornerbacks that are better than Stephon Gilmore right now. But there are 20 younger quarterbacks with a lot more potential based on age, but there's not 20 cornerbacks right now that's going to go out there on the field and outplay Stephon Gilmore. So that's wild that the man does not have a contract at the start of training camp. But like I say, when you cross that 30-year-old threshold, they start looking at you funny, start playing them games, and it's a part of the process. So hey, we all went through it. I went through it. Stephon Gilmore is going through it. But salute to the brother. He'll end up on the team, and he will ball out when he get there. All right, Odell, man. Odell is going out strong at the end of his career. First, he hit the Ravens across the head in a 1-year deal for $18 million. And as he was signing that deal with the Ravens, he was going to war with Nike over breach of contract and withholding his royalties. Now, let me read this article to y'all, right? According to Complex.com, Beckham says that in 2017, Nike agreed to sign him to a guaranteed 5-year contract extension by matching a lucrative offer Adidas brought to him. Now, in Adidas' offer, Beckham's contract could extend for an additional 3 years, affording him $4 million a year in base salary compensation alone. Now, if the net sales of the products tied to him met the minimum amount of royalties guaranteed to him, Beckham says that in matching Adidas' offer, Nike explicitly agreed to these same terms around a possible extension based on net sales. Beckham also says that Nike made an error on its term sheet by not uploading the same provisions in the Adidas offer and used that error to try and deny him the money and extra contract years he was owed. The lawsuit says that unbeknownst to Beckham, Nike altered the offer letter in a way that made the thresholds he needed to hit to guarantee more years on his contract significantly higher. It alleges that Nike extension at the end of the guaranteed 5-year hinge on whether earned royalties met or exceeded guaranteed royalties. In contrast, Adidas' offer, which Beckham says agreed to match only needed net sales to meet or exceed guaranteed royalties to extend beyond 5-year term, his 5-year term. Now, what is this all about? Man, this is some big bank take little bank. I'm a big company. What you gonna do about it? Are you ready to go to war with me? Can you go to war with me? Because it's crazy, man. You sign these deals with these big companies and you expect to get paid. You go out and you do the obligations of your contract, and then you find out these companies don't really want to cut the check. And then you have to go fight over your money. Odell was a superstar. He was a superstar his whole life, right? And then now, at the end of your career, when things aren't going so good because of injuries and things like that, you see friends, business partners, associates don't give you the same treatment. And all the while, all this time, you thought that these business partners, associates were friends. No, they was just business partners. They are here for us to make money together. And that's what we have to understand and can't get caught up in, right? And that sometimes bothers us as athletes, young men, which we a lot of us need mentors, want mentors, and we're meeting all these new people, and we expect and think these new people that we're meeting will treat us right and treat us with love and dignity and respect. But the whole time it's just a business relationship. But we're too young and naive to understand that, right? But for Odell, he came out on the X or Instagram. He came out and basically was trying to promote his victory, I guess, before Nike could make their statement. So Odell came out and made his statement and basically said, "Thank you, Nike. Thank you to the jurors, and thank you to the judge and whoever else was associated with the case for his victory," basically. But it comes out and turns around. Nike comes out and says there was no monetary award awarded. So who was victorious? Basically, the judge, the juror, the courts found out that there was no breach of contract. So nobody's guilty. And nobody breached the contract. So continue the contract. And guess what? Pay the man his money. Pay Odell his money. Pay him his $7 million a year, whatever it's supposed to be, his $29 million Nike deal, because they were fighting over some pettiness and he was owed royalties and they didn't cut the check. So shout out to Odell, man. Odell out there fighting strong, man, and towards the end of his career. You know what I mean? But he did that, man. Did y'all see that picture? Odell looked like he had 9 lawyers, 6 lawyers, and 3 paralegals. Boy, you better have a team you going in there going against Nike. But I wonder how much that thing costs, man. Let me tell you, if you can avoid a lawsuit, they are the most stressful, time-consuming, money-draining things that's in this world. That is crazy. And if you can avoid one of those things, man, try your best to avoid it. But if you in a lawsuit and you fighting toe-to-toe and y'all going head-to-head, hey, if you come out victorious, it's the best feeling in the world at that time. Let me tell you, winning a lawsuit after you done did so many discoveries, had to, screenshot and send over all types of emails and things like that to finally get that judgment and that win in court, man, it feel good, man. So shout out to Odell, man. Shout out to Nike. Just a little disagreement. Y'all got it right. But you got to understand, man, when the production's down, when the likeliness is not as good as it was at one point, things won't be the same. So we have to understand that. And that's the learning point here, man. Odell. But shout out to Odell, man. Going out strong. Odell doing his thing. He making people be held accountable. He making these companies be held accountable for what they're doing. He's standing up for athletes. That's what him and his lawyer said. So shout out to Odell, like I say, man. But let's move on, man. T.O., y'all, I see y'all here, T.O. T.O. always gonna make his rounds. Once a year, he gonna have something to say, something transpired that we don't know about. And this time, obviously, T.O. been advocating to try to play football since he retired, and he ain't gonna never stop. But tell me, y'all tell me in the chat, do you think a 48-year-old wide receiver could make a difference in the NFL? Because T.O. swears up and down he could make a difference, right? And when it comes to Tom Brady, I want to know, does T.O. have the right to feel disrespected or ignored because he reached out to Tom Brady about being a part of that Tampa Bay team? When Tony O'Brien was going crazy and whatnot, and he was removed from the team. Whether or not T.O. could have made a difference on the team is not the debate. I don't think at 48 years old he would have made much of a difference. But I don't think T.O. did a good job reading the room when he was trying to entertain being a Tampa Bay Buccaneer and reaching out to Tom. You didn't read the room that good. You wanted Tom to go from one extreme to the next after he just watched this fool AB go crazy, cut up on the sideline, cause all the drama you could possibly cause. And soon as he's done with that situation, yeah, let me listen to T.O. T.O. would be a great fit over here. The guy that was in the parking lot doing sit-ups with the media right there, and the guy that was driving Philly crazy. Yeah, this would be another good extreme. Let me bring him in. Come on, T.O. You got to read the room. You got to read the room better than that, man. Now, don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted now. T.O. is a dog. T.O. is the definition of a dog. He is a bona fide dog, which is part of the reason he can't let the thought of him not being able to play football no more go. He can't think of that, no matter how old he is. But I wonder, was it about the money? Y'all think T.O. still wanted to play because of the money? And I say, no, it wasn't about the money. It had little to do with the money. That's how much T.O. loves to play football and loves to compete. I think he would have paid for dollars on a penny, give him minimum salary and some bonuses, give him some incentives that make him want to work hard and go out there and do something special. And you bring the best out of him. But T.O., man, we know. T.O., you gotta let it go, brother. We damn near almost 50, T.O. But as men, as T.O., I know he's a very passionate guy and all those things, but we can't get in our feelings because we feel we deserve a response or some type of recognition from someone we barely even know. Just because we've been in the NFL together, that doesn't really mean we kick it and know each other. I went to battle with Tom Brady for years, every day. And you think he'll hit me back if I had his number to call him or reached out to someone that knew him or DM on Instagram and stuff? Like, no, man, it ain't like that. We was teammates, and that was our friendship. We compete. We compete, you know what I mean? We competitors, and we make each other better on the field, right? But if he didn't call me back, do I have a right to, like T.O., do I have a right to get in my feelings if I reached out to Tom Brady, and he didn't respond back, right? Do I have the right, even though that was my teammate, we won a Super Bowl together and stuff like that? I don't think T.O. realizes, like, bro, we're almost 50. You're 48. You're almost 50. You're 48. Your body is like a 2002 Toyota Camry that ain't get an oil change in like 2 years, bro. That body is not going to work the same. You're going to have muscles pulling, aching. The bones might not stand up as good as they did before. They're going to be cracking and all type of stuff. So why T.O. won't let it go, man? But let me tell you, T.O., I done seen T.O. Let me know. You can't put nothing past T.O. or take him for granted or think he can achieve the impossible. because I seen him achieve the impossible. And I don't remember what Super Bowl that was, but it was a Super Bowl that I played in against the Eagles, 2005 Super Bowl. T.O. broke his leg, ankle, something was broken his lower leg. And I think he had like 8 weeks. 8 weeks to get healthy and get back. 10 to 12 weeks, something like between 8 and 12 weeks. And let me tell you, he did the impossible. He came back healthy, played, showed out, hit us up for almost 200 yards. Of course, that wasn't on my side. He hit the other side up, but he did that on a broken leg. So I don't put it past T.O. now. T.O. get down. But we all know, man, T.O., like I said, he's very passionate. He get a little emotional, and nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with it, you know? But you just got to understand sometimes. We got to be able to look at things from a different perspective and not always our own standpoint and our point of view and stuff like that. And, you know, Tom Brady, baby. Tom Brady ain't got time, man. I know you feel like since he called AB, why not call you? It should be cool like that, but you got to read the room, man. You got to understand he not looking for any potential more drama. And T.O., that you had potential all over you, brother. So I don't think that was a good one. You got to read the room sometime, my brother. Hey, man, if y'all didn't see this road rage incident that happened, you got people just running up the cars. You got people running up to people's cars in broad daylight, waving that thing like it's okay. Do you know everybody has a thing out here these days? If y'all don't know what I mean, I'm talking about the pow pow. Everybody has a pow pow these days. And if y'all ain't seen the clip, the guy runs up to the car like he is entitled. Nothing can happen to him. He is covered in body armor. And he runs up to the car with the thing, the pow pow, and confronts the people, almost put it in the car, and boom, ends his life like that. Just like that, ends his life. It was a 29-year-old male. I don't know if he was Hispanic or what, from Indianapolis, or he lives in Indianapolis. His name is Gavin DeZor. I think that's how you pronounce it. And I think that it's just a crazy situation. I don't, that gun, that pow pow, that pow pow sometimes make us feel inferior, make us feel powerful, like unstoppable. And if you happen to be one of those people that carry that pow pow, don't ever get in that mode where you feel like you're inferior and nothing can happen to you. Just because you have it and you're being offensive, don't mean nobody can get defensive and retaliate. And that was just a learning lesson I want to bring up about road rage and controlling our anger, because we all make crazy decisions. I was a part of that. I've been there, done that. I jumped out the car, chased cars down, and when it wasn't necessary. And yeah, man. So watch what you're doing out there. Y'all stay safe. We're gonna keep this thing going. The Art of the Interception is out. Y'all go check it out. I'll put a link in the bio and stuff like that. And yeah, man, till next time, I'll check y'all out. Say what needs to be said. We out, baby.